Hello and welcome to Stories of Science. Here, we look back on humanity's long journey to understand the world. The questions, the failures, and the breakthroughs that slowly changed how we see the universe and ourselves. We tell science as stories.
The secret superhero behind every click you make. Can you imagine this? A 4-year-old who can calculate the number of seconds in a lifetime. Meet Paul Erdos. Born in 1913 in Budapest, Hungary, both his parents were teachers, books filled the house. Life wasn't easy. Though his father was captured as a prisoner of war, his mother held the family together alone. Erdos showed brilliance early. At 4, he could do mental math with huge numbers. He even proved negative numbers made sense. Neighbors watched, jaws nearly hitting the floor. Numbers weren't numbers to him, they were magic. A pencil, a sheet of paper, hours would vanish like they were nothing. His mother was strict but patient. She nurtured his early independence. No mud pies for this kid. His world was numbers and formulas. Even blocks were combinations of toy cars. Trajectories and lengths measured. Where others saw genius, he saw practice. Teenage Erdos was no less intense. At 13, he tackled university-level problems. By 1929, he enrolled at Pasmani Peter University, a hotspot for young minds. He and friends formed a math gang. They'd sit in parks discussing primes and geometry. Their social life? Let's just say unusual. Math bets instead of dance-offs, probability puzzles instead of movies. He solved parts of Bertrand's conjecture and offered fresh insights on happy endings. His notebooks overflowed with formulas, every discussion an adventure, every proof a victory. All-nighters? Normal, questioning professors? Common. He was a non-stop math machine. But young Erdos wasn't alone. Mathematics was his bridge, his friendship. On Budapest streets, on park benches, he'd scribble formulas and argue fiercely. Crazy? Maybe. To him, it was life. A magical childhood. A wild youth. A relentless curiosity. It all shaped him into a mathematical prodigy. College was a laboratory, every classmate a challenge, every problem worth chasing. He loved puzzles, complex formulas, toys, probability methods. Pure magic. Day and night blurred. Dorms weren't for sleeping, they were battlefields. In class, a professor explained a theorem. Erdos raised his hand. Have you considered this possibility? Silence, shock. Admiration, curiosity defined him. Every problem a new continent, every derivation an expedition. But he wasn't just an academic maniac. He understood teamwork, friends challenged each other, little bets brought huge fun. Who can prove this conjecture fastest? Loser buys lemonade, every discussion a contest, every failure, a lesson. His youth? Numbers and laughter. His street, park, library, everywhere a classroom, a stage. He played with formulas, solved puzzles with probability, built castles with logic. No one was quite like him. No one so happy in their madness. A magical childhood. A wild adolescence. A unique education. A peculiar rhythm of life, all of it made a genius. Young Erdos wrote his legend in mathematics. Now, picture a man without a fixed home, yet he lives in the houses of mathematicians worldwide. This is Paul Erdos. His luggage? 2 suitcases. One packed with clothes, the other with formulas. A notebook of problems always at hand. He never went on vacation, he chased proofs. Friends' houses were his homes, professors, colleagues, strangers. No keys, no addresses. Knock, and often someone welcomed him. What problem did you bring today? That was his greeting. 18-hour workdays were normal, morning coffee, afternoons buried in formulas, nighttime? Calculating probabilities. Day and night didn't matter, time belonged to numbers. He had quirky habits, offering rewards for solving problems, sometimes $1, sometimes a bottle of wine, every problem an adventure, every solution a victory. Erdos called God the supreme dictator. God exists, but math rules, every aspect of life measured by formulas. Eating, calories and combinations counted. Sleeping, dream problems analyzed. His life was like a fantasy novel. No house, but infinite homes. No fixed city, but a map of the world. Every stop left laughter and proofs. Every friend, a math ally. Some said he was a nomadic mathematician. Formulas like tense, Europe, America, Asia. He wandered. Wherever he went, friends became his inn. Simple days, full of the unknown, comfort. Not on his radar, solving problems. Everything lights on at night, formulas glittering like stars. Colleagues laughed at his madness. He never tired. 18 to 20 hours a day. Asked if he was exhausted, He shook his head. The formulas never rest, neither do I. Sounds absurd? Perhaps. To Erdos, it was pure freedom. His life filled mathematics with legend. No wealth, no fame, just math and endless possibility. Time flew. Erdos grew old, but still, the boy chasing numbers remained. His later life? Simple. No home, just friends and formulas, morning coffee, notebooks stacked high. Formulas never rest. Neither did he. At 83, still calculating probabilities, still proposing new problems, still advising young mathematicians. Sometimes patting his shoulder. Hurry, don't leave this unsolved for after I'm gone. Daytime research. Nighttime thinking is sometimes he even forgot to eat, reminded to care for his health. He laughed. Formulas matter more than my heart. Leave probabilities to the heart. His humor never faded. Friends remember, just before he passed, he was still scribbling problems. Someone joked, even death can't stop you. He smiled, pen moving. At that moment, he embodied mathematics. 1996, Warsaw, Poland. Heart quietly stopped. No regrets. Formulas and papers still by his side. The mathematical world never closes its doors. His legacy? Priceless. 500 papers. 500 collaborators, from top mathematicians to young scholars, all touched by his passion. Erdos never chased fame, never chased money. His riches? Formulas, friends, endless problems. Mathematics was the ultimate game. Life's adventure. A way to explore the world. Young mathematicians joked he's like a wandering emperor of Numberland. Traveling everywhere, pockets full of problems, pages filled with formulas, leaving wisdom behind wherever he went. Even in old age, mischievous, given birthday gifts, he laughed. Better than this. Not nearly as fun as solving this conjecture. His life? Legendary, from astonishing neighbors at 4. To teenage park debates over topology. To a nomadic mathematician living everywhere until 83, still chasing the light. Erdos proved it. True passion knows no age. Real freedom isn't in a house. Genuine joy comes from thinking and creating. He's gone, yet mathematics burns brighter. Every paper, a spark, every collaborator, a torchbearer. Even in death, his humor lingers. Formulas still on paper, whispering, I'm just off solving another problem. Not even death could stop curiosity. Erdos' life? Adventure, passion. A legend of laughter and formulas, from a magical Budapest boy to a wandering mathematician to an 83-year-old seeker of light. He lit up the world with math. If you think math is just numbers on a page, you've clearly never met Paul Erdos. To him, numbers were magic, formulas were spells, problems? They were treasure maps. Every hard problem was a locked chest, every solution, a key. His journey through mathematics was nothing short of miraculous. Take the Bertrand conjecture. He proved parts of it. The prime number theorem? He approached it with a fresh, probabilistic twist. Sounds dry. Not with Erdos. He turned every theorem into a thrill ride. He invented something called the probabilistic method. Random? Haphazard? No way. It was pure logical wizardry. He called it mathematical magic. With it, you could prove something exists. You didn't even need to show an example. It's like saying, the treasure's in the mountains. You don't have a full map, but math guarantees it's there. Here's a fun example. Want to know if a certain complicated graph exists? Old school methods could take centuries. Erdos? He shrugged. Random it. Magic happens. And just like that, the solution appeared. Mathematicians blinked. You mean, that works? He also laid groundwork in Ramsey theory, core idea. In chaos, there's always order. No matter how messy things look, patterns emerge. Like grabbing socks from a drawer, you always end up with a matching pair. He made the impossible possible. Erdos loved humor in math. Once, he demonstrated the probabilistic method with a deck of cards. He drew one at random and asked, can you guarantee it's a heart? Students shook their heads. He laughed, no guarantee. But math guarantees existence. Silence. Then laughter. He made abstract ideas tangible, playful even. He loved reward problems. Solve one, get a prize. It could be $1. Could be a bottle of wine. Suddenly, math felt like a treasure hunt. If friends were eager to compete, scribbling solutions like adventurers on a quest. The world was his lab. Every stop, a research institute, every friend, a collaborator. The probabilistic method cracked countless existence problems, abstract ideas suddenly had footprints, graph theory puzzles weren't scary anymore, prime numbers' secrets glimmered under his magic touch. And it wasn't just theory, computer science, algorithms, communication networks. His methods had a footprint everywhere: random choices to optimize networks, big data, algorithms. His magic played a role. Math wasn't just on paper, it moved the real world. Erdos had over 500 collaborators. He'd knock on doors with a problem in hand, a wizard scattering spells. Friends joked he's a perpetual motion math machine. 1,500 papers, every one a spark of genius, each formula a magic scroll. In life, he was equally witty. Someone asked, "Don't you get tired?" He shook his head. Formulas never rest. Neither do I. Birthday gift? He'd grin. Not as fun as proving a conjecture. Friends were equal parts amused and awed. His probabilistic method was like a magic wand, random sampling that conjured certainty. Mathematicians often sighed, he brings order to chaos. Once, he tossed dice with students to explore primes. 10 throws. Patterns emerged. Students laughed. Stunned, Erdos just smiled and recorded the result. With probability in hand, complex problems became clear. Math was no longer lonely. Every paper was an invitation, every problem an adventure, every collaborator a partner. Primes, probability, combinatorics, graph theory, they came alive in his hands. Formulas sparkled, problems had solved, every solution made the math world shine. His influence was massive. Algorithms, computing, networks, they all benefited. Math became tangible, useful, inspiring. Even in his later years, he never slowed down. Paper and pen were his constant companions of formulas, problems, collaboration, magic. 18-20 hours a day, zero rest. His passion was awe-inspiring. He showed the world math isn't boring. It's adventure. It's magic. It can even make you laugh till you fall off your chair. He was a prime number hunter, a probability magician. Proofs, methods, theory, applications, a humor, enthusiasm, collaboration, freedom. Erdos lived to show that a true math genius fears not complexity, but a lack of problems. He feared formulas that couldn't light up the world. Ever heard of an Erdos number? If not, you're about to. Paul Erdos, the social butterfly of mathematics, over 500 collaborations in a lifetime. He never turned down a math invite. If you co-authored a paper with someone who co-authored with him, boom, you have an Erdos number. No lab, no office. Erdos traveled. Wherever he went became a lab. Friends' house, colleagues' study, even train benches. If someone had a formula to write, he joined in. Friends joked he treats homes like hotels. Paper and pen are the room rate. Every collaboration was full of surprises. He brought problems, you brought pens. Sometimes, they'd work for days and nights straight. He'd even bring a sleeping bag to crash at a friend's place. Math for him was life. And a game. Sometimes it felt like homework, but really it was chatting with a legend. Erdos numbers reflect this spirit. Direct collaborators, Erdos number 1. Collaborators of collaborators, 2. And so on. As soon, nearly every mathematician connects to him in a few steps. He didn't just collaborate, he inspired collaboration. Reward problems, humor, challenges, solve a problem, gain prize, friendship, and pride. Math became an adventure game, each problem a quest, each solution, victory. His humor was legendary. Someone complained, "Your formula is too hard." He laughed, "The formula isn't hard. Your brain is too small." Friends groaned, but obeyed willingly. Collaboration became his social tool, and social life became math adventure. His style transformed math culture. Papers multiplied, over 1,500 publications, mostly co-authored. 500 plus collaborators across the globe. He spread ideas, mentored future geniuses. Erdos numbers became legendary. Young scholars raced to collaborate, not for fame, but for knowledge. Math was no longer cold, isolated formulas. It became collaboration, exploration, interaction. He turned the world into a math club. He often joked, math is travel. Friends are lodging. Erdos numbers became mile markers on a journey. Your collaborations marked your distance from a legend. And anyone, anywhere, could join this math marathon. Think hard. Collaborate boldly. You, too, could be part of the game. Collaboration, rewards, humor, passion, math became lively, warm, human of formulas and laughter side by side, problems and friendship intertwined. A social celebration of intellect and adventure. Erdos life teaches us math isn't just solving problems. It's sharing. It's interacting. It's adventure. Every collaboration, every thought, could become legendary. An Erdos number isn't just a number. It's friendship, wisdom, passion, magic. You might not realize it, but combinatorics and probability changed the way computers think. Erdos's formulas weren't just scribbles on paper. They were more like secret superheroes. You don't see them, but they're quietly guarding your networks, your data, your digital world. Combinatorics was his magic wand. Permutations, combinations, graph theory, every abstract idea became a tool. Computer science? Inspired by him, information theory? He planted seeds there too. Programmers used his math to speed up algorithms, engineers used it to make networks more efficient. In the age of big data, his work is like a hidden GPS, pointing systems in the right direction. Random algorithms? That's probability magic in disguise. It looks messy, even random, but it's brilliant. Search engines, recommendation systems, encryption, they all have Erdos lurking in the background. Every time you click a video, open an article, or shop online, you're dancing with his formulas. Even networks obey his rules. Social networks, supply chains, data flows, they follow combinatorial logic. Every click, every packet of data, every optimization, it's guided by Erdos's invisible hand. Life's tiny choices? Hiding math's logic behind them, optimization problems? He had solutions from factories to finance. Randomness and combinatorial tricks cut waste, boosted efficiency, and kept the world turning smoothly. Funny thing? Most of us never notice. These formulas are like superheroes in invisible capes, quietly fixing problems. Network running fast? Thank combinatorics. Video recommendation spot on? Probability magic. His math even shaped hardware design. Chip optimization, storage allocation, routing algorithms, all running under his spell. AI algorithms? Yep, Erdos's fingerprints are there too. He took abstract blackboard math and made it live in code. In life, imagine millions of computers, networks, systems, all secretly following the footsteps of one Hungarian mathematician. Every scroll, every click, every route you take, Erdos's magic is at work. Math isn't just numbers anymore. It's thinking that builds reality. His work proves one thing: math isn't isolated. Every theorem, every proof, every idea, it can change the world. From blackboard to real life, his seeds grew into flowers of technology. Combinatorics and probability may seem dry, but they rewrote the script of modern tech. Like hidden superheroes, they guard the gears of daily life. Erdos planted seeds that reached every corner of computer science and information networks. He showed the world abstract math isn't untouchable. Formulas aren't just symbols, they're power. They make life faster, smarter, better. And Erdos didn't stop at theory. He had a quirky hobby, offering bounties. A problem, a formula, a question, he'd attach a prize, sometimes $1, sometimes a bottle of wine. Solve it, you got the prize, and the respect. Young mathematicians were baffled. $1? Really? Erdos would grin. Fun isn't bought with money. That was his way of shaping a new generation. They learned to think, explore, and collaborate. Math wasn't lonely deduction anymore. It became a treasure hunt, a grand adventure. A problem was a map. Solving it was the journey. Every participant was an explorer. Every solution a trophy. He rewarded effort, not just answers. Even if you didn't fully solve a problem, he encouraged you. A piece of paper, a pen, a heart that loves math, that was your passport into Erdos's world. He made math a game, research a shared adventure. You weren't a lone formula transporter, you were a theorem factory, brewing ideas over coffee and conversation. His influence went global. A collaboration became a culture. Papers were shared, problems exchanged, cross-border teams formed, all thanks to his nomadic approach. You in Budapest, him in New York, a single pager call, and formulas flowed. The world grew closer, smarter, faster. Erdos's life was like an adventure novel. No permanent home, just 2 suitcases. 18-hour days, day and night, sleeping in friends' homes, stealing meals, stealing inspiration. Even neighbors joked he's the invisible traveler of math. He made abstract formulas funny, exciting, even romantic. Kids, students, and science fans, everyone was captivated. Math can be fun. Of course, if you play with Erdos. He joked that mathematicians were like coffee machines producing theorems. Add curiosity, get infinite formulas. Workload too much? He'd grin, formulas won't digest themselves. Friends laughed, willingly stayed in the ride, every thought, every discussion a party. Bounties, collaborations, humor, adventures all built his philosophy. Math became culture, sharing, exchanging, interacting, inspiring the young minds. Learn cooperation, innovation, making the abstract tangible. His legacy spread further, influencing tech, combinatorics, probability, network analysis, optimization all took root in the real world. Math went from paper to practice, from abstract to life-changing. Every phone scroll, every web page, every navigation, Erdos's genius might be guiding it. His life was an interactive textbook, everyone could join, everyone could benefit. Math stopped being cold formulas. It became joy, collaboration, and delight. Solve a problem, collaborate, think deeply. You were talking to Erdos, joining the journey. You became part of his adventure. Humor, risk, inspiration, sharing. Math gained warmth. Erdos made formulas speak, problems shine, numbers feel. He proved math could be friends, journeys, and rewards. His legacy? Not just papers, not just cold symbols, culture, spirit, and collaboration. Every participant inherited his magic, from bounties to global collaboration, from paper to practice. Erdos planted seeds across the world. Math has never been so alive. Every young scholar, every curious mind could find inspiration in him. Math isn't just solving problems. It's sharing, exploring, adventuring, having fun. Erdos spent his life showing us math is part of life, and if you take a pen in hand, you can join this endless party. He left the world, but not his soul. Paul Erdos is gone, but his ideas live on. His spirit is a lamp, lighting every corner of mathematics. He believed in the beauty of math. He said formulas were like music, elegant, moving to every proof, every argument in artwork. He never chased fame. He chased perfection of thought. He turned life into a lab, the world into a blackboard. His pen was a wand, a spotlight, a travel guide. His influence shaped future research. Young scholars learned to collaborate, to share, to take risks. No longer alone, they traveled the world for inspiration, answers, partners. His name became a symbol of research culture. He proved investigation could be crazy, humorous, warm. He left more than papers and formulas. Point 1, 500 papers, 500 collaborators. Just the surface, the real legacy, a mindset, a love for problems. Every bounty he offered, a chapter of legend. Every collaboration, a seed of future wisdom. Some joked his notebook was a math grimoire. Inside? Formulas, puzzles, jokes. You never knew the next page. A prime mystery? Probability magic? Or a humorous anecdote? Each page could change a young mathematician's life. His life is legendary, not just for genius, but lifestyle. No home, but the world was his. Days and nights with numbers, yet full of humor. He made formulas alive, research warm. Even the iron rules of math bent to laughter in his presence. At its core, the Erdos spirit is love, sharing, adventure. He proved math isn't just questions. It's friends, it's journey, it's reward. He taught formulas can live on the blackboard or in your heart. Research isn't just solving problems, it's life. Collaboration isn't just a tool, it's culture. When you tackle a complex problem or ponder a formula, you may feel his shadow. When you collaborate, debate, or share a laugh, you carry on his spirit. His ideas are bridges, sparks, compasses. Though he left the world, he didn't leave. Every path in math bears his footprints, every young scholar exploring, every formula discovered. It's a dialogue with him. He turned abstraction into legend, formulas into life. Erdos proved math can be eternal, not just symbols on a blackboard, but the power of thought. He left the world laughter, wisdom, passion. Every thought, collaboration, and discovery tells the story of Erdos. A story with no ending, because math never stops moving. Can he? He lives on in every mind that loves math.
The people who change the world usually just think one step deeper. If this story made you see things differently, hit like, subscribe, and save it. See you in the next story.